No one noticed the woman in the red coat until she stopped, bought every painting, and whispered 6 words that would change Sophie's life forever. The overhead fluorescent lights flickered faintly. It smelled like alcohol wipes and quiet dread. Sophie Carter sat in a paper gown on the hospital bed, legs swinging slightly over the edge. Her sketchbook, usually filled with color, lay unopened in her lap. Across from her, Dr. Patel cleared his throat. He wore a tie that tried to be cheerful, blue with tiny yellow suns, but his face was all shadow. "The treatment is helping," he began, but Sophie didn't flinch. She had learned to hear the word, but like a tolling bell. "But," he continued, "you'll need 2 more rounds, and, unfortunately, your insurance lapsed last month." Her mother gasped softly, almost apologetically. The words hung there, heavy, unforgiving. "Out of pocket?" her mother asked, voice barely audible. Dr. Patel hesitated, then gave the number. It was the kind of number that didn't just echo. It collapsed everything around it. Sophie didn't cry. She didn't even blink. She had become an expert at locking her fear behind her ribs. But later, in the car, she saw her mother grip the steering wheel until her knuckles turned white. Her father didn't say much, just whispered, "We'll figure it out," with a crack in his voice. She heard the lie. That night, Sophie couldn't sleep. The ceiling fan turned slowly above her head, casting lazy shadows across the cracked paint. Chemo had taken her energy, her appetite, even most of her hair. But it hadn't taken her fire. Article. It had always been her anchor, her rebellion, her escape. And now it would be her sword. By morning, Sophie had a plan. She would take her art into the world. She would sell it, street corner or not. Downtown. Saturday. A small table. A folding stool. Her canvases stacked in gentle rows. Her sign carefully lettered in Sharpie. Original artwork, raising money for chemo. Every brush stroke counts. At first, nothing. People passed without a glance. Some looked. Few stopped. One woman in a pantsuit eyed a painting of a desert sky, then shook her head and kept walking. A man in sunglasses read the sign, frowned, and walked away. Sophie stayed, even when the heat pressed against her skin like a weight, even when her vision blurred from standing too long. She stayed. Late afternoon, when the shadows stretched long, an elderly woman approached with her husband. She paused before a canvas, deep purples swirling into a golden horizon. "This one," the woman whispered. "It feels like remembering something I've never seen." "How much?" Sophie blinked. 80. They handed her the money without haggling. As she packed the canvas, the woman smiled, brushing Sophie's hand. "Don't stop painting," she said. That night, Sophie held the $80 like a lifeline. Her art had made a dent in the dark. The next day, a man in a leather jacket sneered as he walked by. "Nobody buys real paintings anymore, kid. Try TikTok filters or AI." Sophie didn't flinch. She'd heard worse. She just looked at him and said, "I'm not selling convenience. I'm selling myself." He laughed and kept walking. She gritted her teeth, fighting not just for money now, but for dignity, for proof that what she created mattered. It started with a journalist. Late 20s, jeans and a camera slung over her shoulder. She was looking for something. Maybe a story, maybe inspiration. She stopped at Sophie's table and gasped softly. "These are incredible. You painted all of them." Sophie nodded. "Yeah, just me and a bunch of late nights." The woman smiled, pulled out a notebook. "I run a blog. Underground art, social equity, stories people should know. Can I ask you something?" Sophie hesitated, then nodded. She told her everything. The diagnosis, the debt, the desperation, but also the hope, the drive, the fire in her hands when she painted. The journalist scribbled, snapped photos, thanked her. Before she left, she looked Sophie in the eyes and said, "People are going to feel this. I promise." Sophie didn't get her hopes up. Promises don't pay for chemo. She arrived early, but things felt different. People stopped, asked questions. A woman bought 2 paintings without blinking. A couple debated for 10 minutes over which piece matched their living room. Sophie's phone buzzed. A text from her best friend Lucas. "Sophie, you're viral. Check this." The article, "Fighting for Art, Fighting for Life. Teen paints her way toward survival." Thousands of shares, photos, a link to her social. Donations rolling in. Sophie's hands shook as she refreshed her feed, again and again. But that was nothing compared to what came next. Late afternoon. The air was thick with summer heat, the city's rhythm pulsing around her. That's when she felt it. A pause in the air. A shift. Sophie looked up. Slow motion, footsteps, red coat swirling slightly in the wind. The woman was tall, poised, radiating presence. She didn't glance. She examined. Her eyes landed on a black and white canvas. Desert dunes under a storm, a lone figure standing in silhouette. "What's the story behind this?" she asked. Her voice was low, measured, soft, but with weight. Sophie hesitated, then answered, "It's about not giving in, even when it's easier." The woman looked at her, not the art, not the sign, her, and nodded. "I'll take it." Then, "Number, I'll take all of them." Sophie blinked. "Wait. What?" The woman opened her purse, pulled out a checkbook, wrote silently, ripped, handed it over. Sophie looked down. $75,000. She dropped to her knees. Her breath hitched. Her eyes widened. This can't be. Are you serious?" The woman crouched to meet her gaze. "I've been where you are. Not cancer, but the fight to live on your terms. I'm trans. I know what it's like to wake up every day and need the world to see you as real. You've already won. Now, I just want to make sure you survive long enough to enjoy it." Someone nearby gasped. Wait, isn't she that activist from the Equality Gala?" Phones rose. Click, snap, record. A girl screamed. "She's the woman from that TED talk. I saw her on Vogue last year." The scene erupted. A crowd formed. A man pushed forward. "How much is that one?" A woman. "I'll double it. Please." Within minutes, every painting was gone. And Sophie, speechless, just sat there, watching her world rewrite itself. That night, her phone melted. Messages, comments, donations. The article had been updated. Now with a new headline. Trans icon buys teen's art to save her life. World responds. By morning, Sophie had more than money. She had an offer from a gallery in New York, an email that read, "We don't just want to sell your work, we want to tell your story." 1 month later, Sophie walked into the hospital. No anxiety. Her treatment was covered, paid in full. "You're the girl from the article," she whispered. Sophie nodded and walked on. Her final treatment was brutal, but this time it was a finish line, not a cliff. At home, resting, she received a letter. Handwritten, elegant script. "Sophie, your fire is rare. Never let anyone dim it. Art isn't just survival, it's resurrection. Never stop painting." From one woman warrior to another. Sophie's first gallery show sold out in 3 days. She painted full-time now, but she kept one piece for herself. The desert landscape, the silhouette, the storm. She hung it above her desk. A reminder that sometimes the world does stop for one voice. One girl, one painting, one stranger brave enough to believe.